We now return to the shocking documentary, Werepig Whistleblowers, Behind the Bahookies.
People don't take our dad seriously when he says that he wants to move New Year's from December, January to March, April. Here's the thing. He's very serious about it.
He hates winter. He wants to make sure his funky new year is green and sunny and happy.
So as his Boychilds, here's what we have to deal with every spring.
Did you just seriously call us the Boychilds? Way to go.
Dad still won't figure it out. Trust me. Roll tape.
Count with me, boys. 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year! I'm a rambler, I'm a gambler, I'm a long ways from home. If you don't like me, then leave me alone. I'll eat when I'm hungry, I'll drink when I'm dry. If the moonshine don't kill me, I'll live till I die. Oh.
Welcome to the Open Zone. Party, you can join at home. Come along and bring your friends. Here the party never ends. Welcome to the Open Zone. Never have to feel alone. Go ahead and shake your butt. No one here will give a fuck. Welcome to the Open Zone. Welcome to the Open Zone. Welcome to the Open Zone. Welcome to the
No, I don't care how many times it's come on the radio or how loudly you sing it or how wildly you dance on our coffee table. I will not pour some sugar on you. Well, for one thing, it's messy. Yeah, well, no, there are no rules. Deaf Lizard isn't singing the hokey pokey. Oh, I gotta go. They're here. Yep. Big spring premiere. Yeah. I fist bump you too. Hey, but hey, howdy and heroink, it me, your Funky Werepig, live from the No Pants Zone studios. Throw those pants in the air like you just don't care. I do apologize if you overheard some of that conversation. The lady love, she's still going strong from our New Year's festivities. And there's this thing we do that, but just no, I'm 73 years old. Now, if Deaf Lizard was singing about Splenda, this show, this show is our funky new year, because as all true piggy petters know, I moved that December, January shit to March, April, springtime, sunshine, green fields, chipmunks doing it everywhere. They don't care who watches. We are rocking down 2 Electric Avenue with Boychild 1.0 and Boychild 2.0. We got our staff of 1,000 back, and we have lit once again the underwear scented candle. Godly freshness. And this spring, there are no brakes on the dick train. Cover your ears, kiddies. Our guest tonight is one of those creative mutants who excels at everything, and I love this guy. He's the best-selling author of such novels as Shamrock Alley, Bone White, and his latest supernatural thriller, Come With Me. I will come right out and say, I believe he's the greatest writer of his generation. Back on our show is Ron Malfi. And Malfi is the frontman for the band VEER. They're here tonight to kick Bahookie with their latest hit, Science. If you're not a fan already, you will be after you hear these guys. Absolutely brilliant. The Funky Werepig loves being your sanctuary away from the 24/7 news blitz, but the staff of 1,000 just passed me this story from the BBC. It brought a smile to my face. Seems that there is a group of Ukrainian nuns that found an abandoned Russian tank. So yeah, they stole it And now they're riding around, picking up people and dropping them off in safe places everywhere. I don't know if you're watching tonight. You probably are. But Bruce Springsteen, there's a song in this for you. Cut it up, angel, hurry up, my little dove. We're riding down now, baby, here with this tank full of nuns. Tank full of nuns. Yeah, that's yours, Bruce. It's yours. Toss you a mulligan. I love you. Big fan. Big fan. And if you're one of those people out there that constantly thinks, oh, I'm doing so much to change the world, ask yourself one question. Are you a tank nun? No. No, you are not. Always watching. Okay, it's already morning. I am way behind schedule, but in my defense, I haven't slept since last Monday. Happy New Year's, baby. I actually took a bath last night in Zima. Okay, everyone knows that we're about bonding, about building bridges. But if you've ever met my arch enemy, McCoy, you know that like a ninja spin kick to the happy sack is the best you're going to do. But it is a new year, and I'm going to try to overcome our differences. Not much success in past shows, so this time I brought in a professional, a psychiatrist. So here, one more time, is Morning Coffee with McCoy.
All right, boys, weapons down. This first session, our goal is easy. I will say a phrase and you will fill in the blank with each other's names. Ready? Today I made a new friend. His name is...
Skanky Boomer Derp.
Pig vomit!
That's it. I quit.
You are?
Your editor.
Oh. That sounds important. With flawless continuity, there he is, like a banana salesman who hands you a pomegranate because he knows you're allergic to bananas. Live via satellite through Zoom, our own musical director, JJ Glamour. JJ, how are you, good sir?
Hey, if this computer's rocking, don't come a knocking.
But if an error message pops up, you just pull that plug. See what I did there? Huh? I could have gone for the cheap joke, the floppy disk, the hard drive. But when you work with JJ Glamour, you guys know this. When you work with JJ Glamour, you got to raise your game. So, dude, how was your vacation? Anything exciting happen?
A spider bit my ass, got me on my good cheek, the one I always use.
Yank the cord. You just pull that cord out. So, JJ, we've got to get a move on. We got to get to the Magic Farmer comedy break. Do you have anything you can play us out with that will, let's just say, celebrate our spring return?
You know, there's a very special Sunday where families gather, children search for hidden eggs, and there's a big parade. This song is called, Hey Kids, the Easter Bunny is Pagan.
Dear new boyfriend. Now, nicknames are a huge red flag for me. If you introduce your friends as Clam Dip, Ass Loaf, Swamp Thing, Vicarious George, The Trollop, Duncan No Nuts, Twitterdum, and Wes, I introduce myself as Already Gone. This has been Truthin with Miss Tanya.
Behold the Magic Farmers Incorporated! Speak, moo cow! Speak!
You're not the boss of me!
There are things in this world that cannot be explained. Things only akin to the supernatural. I'm Grody Wales, star of A Bad Dream on Oak Street and Devil Monkeys 5 through 9, and I'm going to take you on a journey you cannot turn back from. Tonight, we have the story of Sasquatch hunters who barely escaped alive, but their indisputable evidence will change the cryptid game forever. Let us not delay one moment further. But first, don't believe in ghosts? The figure that just strayed from the corner of your vision must be a trick of the light. A whisper alone in a dark room must be your imagination. All right, Mr. Skeptic. Do your best to debunk these videos of apparitions cursed to haunt the living for all eternity.
Hey kids, did you know that I forgot the fact that we were supposed to be talking about bugs?
Sugar cookie blossoms, some keto almond joy donuts, a variety of cocoa boobs, and a wicked fudge nut brownie.
Colorateur, je suis femme. Où est la grande beauté? Écoutez, répétez. Mon Dieu! 18 pamplemousses sur la plage. Quelle horreur! Pas ma fée. Hello? Hello? Oh no! Je suis maître tout nu.
Orps. The woods can be a terrifying place, where shadows dance, creatures lurk, and every snap of a twig could mean your demise. But for two brothers, Clem and Little Bra Beckley, they were no match for the Canadian wilderness. Some say the Sasquatch is merely a myth, a silly story. Well, tell me, what would you do if a 7-foot-tall, 500-pound man-beast was staring you in the face? Neener, neener. Let's ask the Beckley brothers how silly their story really is.
Bigfoot has been an obsession of ours forever. We've been tracking it all across America.
Most people go to the Pacific Northwest, but we decided to go straight up north to the wilderness of Canada.
They've been calling this creature 100 different names. Sasquatch, skunk ape,
Hillgrass man, Yeti, Yowie.
but the French Canadians, because of their weird accent, calls it the Bigfoots.
No, you right.
I'll never forget, we went out to the Hudson Bay around 8, 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night.
There was nobody, nobody up there. But an old fishing village told us anyone who walks in there never walks out again.
And we ain't scared.
No, because we have been previously and accurately identified as beings of lesser intelligence.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so not only did we make it out with our lives, but with unprecedented evidence. We started off with some tree knocking where you take a big old stick and smack on a tree and it echoes through the forest.
Then the Bigfoot did the same.
So I did that for about an hour and I didn't get anything. Until I started thinking outside the box, took a big old stick, and I hit Clem with it.
Scream.
And we got this.
Sam, I got an idea. Ow! Wait, you hear that? Wait, you hear that?
And if that don't scare the poop out of your colon, next day we found a whole trail of giant footprints.
You can tell by the stride that it's like 7, 8, 9, 10 feet tall.
And it was definitely bipedal.
That means it had 2 penises.
Means what?
Bi means 2.
Yeah, you're right.
So we made a cast out of Play-Doh and sent the footprint off to the Zoological Association of America. Zah!
But get this. When we contacted them about a few weeks later, they had no record of us ever contacting them, and the cast was gone. So instead of catching ourselves a cryptid, we called ourselves another governmental cover-up.
Bye-bye, Bigfoot.
Seems there are truths that the powers that be don't want us to know. In a way, that's even more frightening than any monster, ghost, or alien. There's only one answer. It's because this shit be haunted.
Fact: Columbus Day, 1966, Blessing, Pennsylvania. 3-year-old Ugly Joe Barrett murdered his family, then disappeared. Fact: machete, chainsaw, improper insertion of a tire pump. Death arrives wearing the true mask of evil. For over 50 years, horrifying unsolved murders have been filed under Ugly Joe, a serial killer who leaves behind only crayon drawings. Really good crayon drawings. I mean, check out that parrot. Probably like the best crayon parrot ever. Fact: in order to survive, you need the facts. Is it politically correct to die on Columbus Day? Can your virginity save you? Can you really stick a man up on a wall with a kitchen knife? The legend of Ugly Joe is your only hope in solving all the mysteries. Gregory L. Hall's The Legend of Ugly Joe is available at Amazon Books. Oh, this voice is scary.
Happy New Year, everybody. This is Sharon from I Smell Sheep. And this month, we're going to review The Keep, Book 1 of the Adversary Cycle by F. Paul Wilson. Something is murdering my men. Thus reads the message received from a Nazi commander stationed in a small castle high in the remote Transylvanian Alps. Invisible and silent, the enemy selects one victim per night, leaving the bloodless and mutilated corpses behind to terrify its future victims. The battle has begun. On one side, the ultimate evil created by man, and on the other, the unthinkable, unstoppable, and unknowing terror that a man has inevitably awakened. Our reviewer, Belle Biv DeVoe, said, I was immediately captivated by the conflicts and subplots running underneath Wilson's absolutely frightening vampire creature. He doesn't shy away from the actual Nazi history, so you are torn between the two evils. You 100% want the vampire to destroy the Nazis, but if this monster gets out of the keep, it kills everyone. It's heart-pounding genius. I highly recommend this classic for its original spin on the haunted castle story, its unbelievable tension on very human levels, and for reminding us vampires are supposed to be the monsters from your darkest nightmares. Be sure to check out the whole review at I Smell Sheep. I Smell Sheep gives The Keep, Book 1 of the Adversary Cycle by F. Paul Wilson 5 sheep. Until next time.
Check out the award-winning review site for books, comics, and movies your Funky Werepig loves, ismellsheep.com.
for Celtic pillow talk with a hard C.
Oh, ye sweet bonny lass, let us row with blotting nudity down lush green hills in the gloaming, dead in the bow-bag leprechauns, to watch our passion as I stuff you like haggis. I can show you what the rod and rod stewart means. No? Failing means you're playing.
If you would like JJ Glamour to write a song to someone you know, then dedicate it and sing it on the Funky Werepig. Contact us at monkeyflingingpoo924@gmail.com. Include the person's name and a quote, an inside joke, or message you'd like to hear in JJ's lyrics.
If the song becomes a hit, JJ shares nothing with you, not a penny.
Dedicate a song at monkeyflingingpoo924@gmail.com.
Yes, this is real. Send me your stuff, like today. This dedication is from Josh to Jessica, wondering about the future of our love. Your passion for me is a sparkler, mine an exploding dirigible. Your love for me is at best Bitcoin, but baby, I'm non-fungible. I NFT you, why can't you NFT me? You keep saying our love is equal, and we both share the blockchain. But I can't be traded or exchanged. Your cryptocurrency ain't the same. I NFT you, why can't you NFT me? I'm digital art, metaverse real estate, and Bored Ape Yacht Club. You don't even live in reality. I NFT you, why can't you NFT me? I have no idea what any of this means, but in a good way.
Subscribe to the Funky Werepig and let the laughter and the music drop right into your hands. Today's weather report: wear one sandal and one snow boot, cause Mother Nature is baked. What I like to do is, because I'm an action guy, I like to write things that are on the move and moving and grooving. I like to start with verbs.
Mm-hmm.
So I go through the entire book and write out each one of the verbs. And then I come back and fill in the rest of the sentence.
That's right.
So it that way I keep going. So try that sometime.
All right. That's can you just send me the verb list? I'll do it backwards so no one knows I'm
yeah, yeah, exactly. This sounds like a Greg Hall book. What? I'll share this with the fans at home because I think they deserve to know. My earliest memories of you are at the karaoke nights at conventions. There's always a karaoke night going on. And you'd have the usual suspects, you know, Rio Yours would get up there and sing some kind of Davy Jones tribute, you know, I'm telling you, girl. You know, Skip Novak would get up and sing the Pina Colada song. It's like the only freaking song he knows. And then, you got to picture this in your mind, folks. Then Malfi takes the stage. And the sexual energy just pulses out into the crowd. And he gets up there and starts crying out like when dolphins cry. And people are just going crazy. The energy, women are fainting. Tom Monteleone is fainting. Then Malfi runs into the audience and he picks out some 80-year-old grandma and he starts grinding. Full lap dance. I mean, it's like a community theater version of Magic Mike. It's just beautiful. And he just takes over the whole evening. And that's all you can remember from that evening. That's how I always will remember Malfi. Was that pretty accurate?
That is, my memory's slightly different, where I think I was walking from a table to the bar and Rio handed me the mic for 3 seconds and I sang a line. But no, it's slightly different, but I appreciate the hyperbole.
Well, you're far too modest Because that's no. The rock and roll lifestyle you live.
Yeah.
That's just something you do. That's just kind of who you are. That's, when you strut into Walmart 4:00 in the morning with nothing on but boxer shorts and a Hello Kitty t-shirt, you're hoping the paparazzi's there, just snapping pictures.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But because this is where I knew you from before.
Yeah.
I'm guessing the lifeblood, the reason you wake up every morning, the voice in your head is the writer.
Yes, that is correct. Yeah.
I nailed it. Really?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Now, when did you know that you could knock home runs? When did you? That's it. We've already talked about it. You're not a sports guy. When did you know you were really good at it? Knocking home runs is a phrase that they. When did you know? Because it was like Shamrock Alley,
mm-hmm.
Snow. I mean, there are these books that came out that you were just. To me, those were the first things I read, and I went, "Who the hell is this guy?" When did you know? Wait a minute, I can do this.
It's a tough. I don't ever think I actually thought of it like that. Like I've had a lot of people who are trying to become writers who would contact me and say, I don't know if my stuff is any good. How did you know your stuff was good when you start submitting short stories or whatever? How did you know your stuff was good? I never thought about it that way. It never occurred to me that my stuff might not be good or bad or whatever. I just wanted to do it, and I figured, let me continue to do this and submit work, and eventually, you shoot it in the forest enough, you're going to hit a deer, right? So I figured, let me just see what happens. I never actually, I don't think I stopped and go, oh, am I any good at this? That kind of comes later when you're more involved in the business side of when this becomes a career, and you look at it and you say, okay, well, what are the trends? What you kind of get in your head a little too much, and you probably, maybe even sacrifice some of the love of what you do for the economy of what you do. I guess the marketability of what you do. You start listening, maybe to your detriment, to editors and agents and this and that. You start, that's when I think, you go, well, is this relevant now, or is what I have to say important? Is, am I telling this story in the right voice? Whereas I think when I was younger, I mean, that was just, I didn't think about that stuff. I just kind of wrote what I wanted to write,
This one.
Oh,
this one.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, I love this book. I bought it in 2003,
mm-hmm.
and I'm already halfway through the book. It's amazing. Look at this thing. You could kill a small kitten with this if it fell off a table.
Yeah.
This is usual for you. You're a 450 page guy when you write. You're not one of those guys that like writes a 72 page thing and then brags that you wrote 14 novels a year.
No.
This is Peter Straub level.
Yeah.
This stuff. I mean, listen. I wonder if we can hear it. Ready? The camera's going to jilt. Did you hear that? I just hopped out of my seat. That's you're at the level now with the accolades you get or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You could skip half of that. You can save yourself just
start writing shorter books. I could.
Yeah, look at that. It's that's amazing stuff. It's impressive, my friend. Impressive.
Oh,
Do you set off with one of the best pieces of advice I've ever gotten was from my old English tutor,
mm-hmm.
who somebody asked him one time, how long should a book be? And he said, when you're finished.
Mm-hmm.
Do you go in with a mindset of, I got to knock out another 450 page book? Or are you just like, I'll get there when I get there?
No, I mean, I think naturally my stuff is long. I like longer books. I like to read that stuff. I mean, especially if I'm going to work on something, over the course of a year or several months or however long it takes to write a specific book, I'm living in that world for for that time. So I want it to be rich, and I want it to have all the nuances and connective tissue and the filigrees around the story that make it something worthy of spending that time to work on. Because if I'm working on a book, it's taken me away from my wife, my kids, my family, other things I enjoy. So it's got to be worth it, and that's just, so I don't go into it going, I got to write a long book. They just kind of come out that way. I think that's the natural, just my natural storytelling arc. I love a good slow burn. I like taking time with characters. I find I think my stories are really just character stories where the mechanics of plot are secondary or tertiary to really what's going on. And probably some of my critics will say the same thing, but it's just what appeals to me. So yeah, they are as long as they need to be.
The Boychilds just passed this over to me. Floating staircase. And you guys better not be bullshit me, because if you do, Pop-Tarts for dinner. No steak, no crab cakes.
You got chained to a desk back there?
Yeah. No, I got one riding the exercise bike that powers my Commodore 64, and the other one is Post-it note boy. So he hands me my info as we go. They said that you floating staircase, if not this one, there's one that you're quoted saying you wrote it in like 2 weeks.
Oh no, it wasn't that. It was I wrote Snow in 2 weeks. So
Pop-Tarts.
Get him back on that pedal faster, boy.
It's Pop-Tart. That's it.
That's right.
Pop-Tarts with mac and cheese. So it's and Snow was nothing that was no haiku.
No, so I mean it's a 330, just like that 3.5 minute pop song. That was a 3.5 minute, three and a half page pop book. That was I forget what year that book came out, 09-ish or thereabouts. But it was back when Leisure Books Dorchester was a hot,
Yep.
They were the horror mass market publisher, and I wanted to get with them. One, because they were all over the place, everybody loved their books, and then two, I just wanted to prove to myself I could kind of get in with there. You talk about when do you know if you're good enough or not. It's one of those things. So I became kind of friendly online with the editor Don Daria, who used to be over there, and I sent him. I would send him. Back then it was email, a query letter, and a few sample chapters. See if they have an interest. So I did that with a couple of story or novel manuscripts that I was working on, and he was very cordial and said, hey, good work, but just really not right for Leisure. And Leisure had a certain tonality to their books. I mean, they wouldn't have, some of there was a, you knew what you were getting when you got a Leisure book.
Yeah.
So I had this idea. So I kept getting rejected, but with some positive comments. So I told my wife, and I'm like, look, I'm going to give it one last shot. And I'm going to go give them exactly what I believe they want. I'm not going to try to shoehorn something else I've written to meet their mold. So I wrote up like a quick synopsis. I had this idea for Snow, wrote up a quick synopsis of it. I wrote 3 chapters of it, not knowing really where it was going to go, except for the clunky synopsis I had. Sent it to Don, and he wrote back. He goes, "This is great. Let me see the full manuscript." So I said, I lied. I said, I'm on vacation. Give me 2 weeks. And I spent the next 2 weeks in that basement with alternating between pots of coffee and like a glass of whiskey, and man, just hammered that book out like in 2 weeks. And it was pretty surreal because it was just nonstop. I was just so hyper focused on it. We didn't have any kids at the time, so I could kind of hide, and I think my wife appreciated some of that too. And I could just be down there and I spent 2 weeks of my life just with that book to get it out, and they bought it. And I'm like, I proved to myself I could do this, and now it's the bane of my existence. That's probably the book that most people bring to book signings for me to sign is Snow.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? I mean, it's a great book. It's a great book. But they got to catch up. Because you are like that whiskey. You're better the next year. and the next year, and the next year, and a
I like to
decade
think
later.
so. It'd be pretty sad to go back. It's just like you said, to say, "Oh, the best thing I did was, a million years ago." So
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to keep living off that same Partridge Family song.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, it's certainly a niche book. It fulfilled the purpose that I wrote it for, and people seem to like it. So I'm happy to kind of, I'm happy that people are happy with it.
Yeah. And the thing too with it is what I always admire. And it makes sense that that's the one you wrote in about 2 weeks, because you usually have these very creative titles that make you go, what is that? What is it? And this one, you're just like, snow.
Yeah.
I'm done. It's snow.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, I was right. It was now. And then I put the S in front of it. Like, there we go. Now we're in.
You were describing that it's not haphazard, but you really don't know where you're going as a writer until you finally get there.
With my career or my books?
Yes.
Yes.
No, you were saying that you just dive into a book, and sometimes you get halfway through and you go, what am I doing now? And whatever.
I've got a lot of unfinished manuscripts, and by I'm maybe some of them 400 pages deep, where I've been like, you know what? Let me just.
You don't have an ending? You don't know where
usually not the ending. It's usually the mechanics to get to the ending. I usually have a pretty good idea of the beginning, a pretty good idea of the ending where I think it's going to go. And inevitably there's always some hiccup in the middle where, and like I said, I'm a pretty lazy guy. So if I get to a place where it's going to cause a lot of angst, it's easier sometimes to set it aside. And I've done, I've set stuff aside where years later, I've gone back to them because I'm just in a different headspace where I'm able to work it through. So none of these things are necessarily dead. They're just in that period of hibernation until they're ready to be more fully, matured, I guess.
Yeah, no, I like that. I do that quite often myself, where it's like, I'll get to a point, you hit a brick wall, and I just learned to teach myself, not today.
Yeah.
Today's not the day. It could be a year from now. It could be whatever. Just put it in this folder.
I mean, so many of those things, like my book, December Park, I think that came out in 2012-ish area. I wrote a draft of that in high school. And I've always liked it. And I just kind of said, but something, as I got older and I kept kind of looking at it, and I was published and had a burgeoning kind of career, with writing, and kept revisiting it. I'm like, something's just not working. And it wasn't until I realized what that fix was that I went back and addressed it. So that thing sat for years. To a degree, Floating Staircase was the same way. Floating Staircase was a much more, it was a rambling, bigger novel. I mean, you picked it up and slammed it on the table. It was maybe 100 pages, 200 pages longer in the first go around. And what I realized in that book is I was telling two different stories. So I wound up cracking it open, and my novel Cradle Lake actually became what I took out of Floating Staircase.
Okay.
And then Floating Staircase became its own thing. And once I did that, the tone of each story came clear, that the things fell into place. I'm like, that was, but it's never the same fix. So it's sort of like this investigation on why does this thing not work, and how do I fix that? And that just happened to be the fix for that book, or for both of those. I got another book out of it, I guess.
Yeah, no, I mean, that was what was supposed to happen. You don't know till you get there. We were wrapping a bit this past weekend, because I'm trying to score tickets for this VEER thing coming up.
Yeah.
And I'm talking to the main guy in VEER, trying to score these vodka tickets. We'll talk about that in a second. And you're like, I think I could, I don't know. It's the tickets are, I think there's a site somewhere. I don't handle
that sounds right.
I don't handle any of that. The drummer handles that. The drummer handles the business. I don't do that. And we agreed that because you're the front man. Front man don't do that because you're busy doing front man things. Drummer, he can handle the business because you got to wake up by noon. You got to have someone find your other sock. You got front man things to do. You know what the drummer gets to do during the concert? He gets to sit down. He gets to sit down. Right? Am I right?
That's a fair point.
You're out there, you're singing, you're bringing the groinal energy, It's all coming from your groinal chi.
Sure.
The drummer is back there pounding away while he's got a calculator figuring out your taxes for this year, because he's got to handle that. Whose great plan was it that Werepig may suggest line dancing, but we need to go vodka.
Yeah. So the drummer who's doing the taxes on the drum riser is also the marketing guru of the band. And John, my brother, he's got his hands in everything. He's extremely talented from that regard. He has created our own record label to put our stuff out. He handles all the business side of stuff. He takes care of all the show bookings. That compilation CD you mentioned was his, that was his idea to put that out. He's just awesome at it. And he's always thinking of like 3 steps ahead of, you got to see our merch table. It looks like that scene in Spaceballs where they've got like everything, like the Spaceballs lunchbox and stuff. We've got everything. You need a VEER Zippo lighter. We've got VEER Zippo light. You need a VEER. I'm not kidding. Space helmet. You need a VEER space helmet. We've got those. So we're always thinking of this stuff. So he got in with some of the folks over at Old Line Distillery. They do bourbons and whiskeys primarily, but they have a vodka line there. And we were talking about kind of joining forces, like a super group of boozers and rockers. And it was all John's idea, and he took it in. He gave them the proposal. They were aware of our stuff and liked the sound. They were also they're ex-military guys who run that place, and we do a lot of benefits to support the military and stuff. So
very cool
with that. And we just all hit it off. So that rolled into, let's start sampling vodka, and I'm not going to say no. So we went and did that and met the guys, and the whole thing just kind of just snowballed from there, where they're like, look, let's put your faces on a bottle of vodka, get it in the stores, get it at the bars, and have a big party to release it, in May, and let's see what it can do. So that's really it there.
So your face, the one we're all looking at right now, is going to be on a bottle of vodka.
It's probably a little thinner, but yeah, on the bottle of vodka.
That is a brilliant idea, and I'm also leaving it up to the drummer, that because of his connections and he knows everybody who's everybody kind of thing, that he timed it to be on the right side of the sanctions.
That is, we can take credit for that. Sure.
Yeah. Out of all the beverages you could have done, let's do the one you're not going to be able to get anymore.
Yeah, I don't know if that was sort of a I guess serendipitous, maybe. I don't know. Or that's not even the right word.
That's shrewd.
Yeah.
That's what that is. That's shrewd. So there's this huge Wang Chung like party going on.
Yes.
Coming up in a little over a month or so in May.
Yeah, May 13th. It's a Friday night. So it is the release of VEER's Rock and Roll Vodka. We're doing a show. It's like a upscale event, because normally we don't do a lot of those, but it's an upscale event at the distillery. We're going to do it's an hour cocktail hour where it's kind of a meet and greet. Most of these people that we know locally will show up, so they've already meeted and greeted before, but we hang out with everybody. Then we're going to do I think it's like a hour and a half or so acoustic performance of like a ton of songs.
Like an MTV Unplugged style
thing? Like an MTV Unplugged style, yeah. And we just thought it was a little more intimate that way. It's a little cooler. We're playing it in the distillery, so sound wise, we don't want to blow anybody's ears out. So and it just fit the environment. It's much more of a laid back, toned down event than just a concert venue, and I think so. Tickets are $40. That gets you a bottle of vodka. It gets you a bunch of merchandise that my brother is always proliferate with sharing. It also gets you a ticket to the following VEER show,
Yes.
which is a full lot, electric on stage, jump around performance. So,
and that one you don't care about eardrums.
What's that?
Exactly. I was going to say the follow up, the one that's later in May. You don't care about eardrums on that one.
No.
Yeah, you're going full. You're not going to be blowing up kegs and stuff. So you're.
Yeah, no, vodka one, toned down, acoustic. The later show, that'll be at like Fishhead Cantina, I think, in Maryland. Later that month. I don't know. I get all my dates confused. I get too much stuff going on. I don't know.
I know.
My wife isn't here to check her phone calendar. I can't really tell you anything.
So that's May 13th. Then later in May is the big hoopla concert you guys are doing. Balls to the wall, cranking it out.
Right.
But the Boychilds were saying that then there's the new song. You got new stuff coming. Maybe July. You're aiming.
I don't know what we're doing. We're trying to. I don't know. We've got a couple of things going on. So we got another concert we're playing with after that in July. I think that's with Head PE and Crazy Town, those bands. And something else. I'm not even sure, really. We're trying. So we do have one other song that we're kind of just sitting on until we finish everything else we're working on, because we're up in the air about what we want to release next. But we do want to do like one more video and another single before the full album comes out, which at this rate could be a decade, but it seems like it.
How many songs do you usually put on an album? I'm so out of touch today. I thought you were just saying album to placate to me because I'm old.
No, I mean, the fact that we put out albums might be out of touch. I don't know. I've always been like a stickler for having, like a full LP.
Yeah.
I know a lot of bands just kind of pop out singles and that's that. But we're not like Justin Bieber, so we kind of do it the older way. But I don't know. The first album had 12 songs. We're shooting for around that on this one.
Oh, okay. So a good traditional album.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And we put out like EPs with like 4 or 5 songs on them before. But I like a nice big chunky album where you could kind of lose yourself into the story of the songs. Yeah.
If we get some kind of cool merch bag, some kind of swag bag for coming out to the distillery thing, I'll leave a hefty tip if I can get one of those Red Tide VEER flasks.
I think I can make that happen.
That would be. I don't want anybody. Don't put them in all the bags because then I'll just feel like everyone got one. You're not special. I want to feel special. I would love just the one bag. That, and then I'm going to wind up giving it to Boychild 2.0 anyway, because if he's going to keep getting busted in school for drinking during math class, at least he's
might as well do it with a little flair.
Yeah, exactly. At least he's like, let me finish this. Brought to you by VEER. So I'm going to wind up giving it to
underage drinking. That's us. Yeah.
So, but I wouldn't cry if I didn't get one. But
understood. I think I can make that happen. Let's keep that on the DL though. I don't want to see now you're going to air this thing and all 2 of your viewers are going to hit me up for flash.
Yeah, but one lives in Minnesota and he never travels south of the border into the United States, and the other's in England. So he might show up though because he's batshit crazy. He's batshit crazy. Just to give the fans a taste, as soon as we sign off, what's the very next thing you're going to do?
Well, you're going to listen to science, right? and then I'll sign off while you're doing that. But after I do that, I think I have to. I can probably take my kids somewhere. You want to say something sexy like I got to go and the recording studio or sign 100. What? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah,
what am I gonna do?
Yeah, I got kids somewhere. So, well, that's a good thing, then. That's see, you people get that? You can be a rock and roll star and you can be a best-selling author and still have family time.
Just as long as you keep it separate.
Yeah, just as long as it's
safe.
Yeah, and let the kids know they're on the clock.
That's right.
That teaches them responsibility. but we got like 7 more minutes, kids. Then
That's right. Then your time is up.
That's it. So, but thank you, dude. And I will be seeing you. Ready for this? I don't even have a drummer. I will see you Friday, May 13th at the distillery.
You remembered. Look at that. Very good. That'll be awesome. I appreciate that. It'll be great to see you again.
Very cool, man. And we will catch up soon.
Great. Thanks, Greg.
Yep. Are you ready, piggy petters? Then let's put the needle to the record. Head on over to ronmalfi.com, where you can find all of his bestsellers and even pre-order his newest novel, Black Mouth, due out this summer. To gleefully submerge yourself in everything Malfi, go to ronmalfi.com. Or, if .nets are more your thing, check out VEER's website for all their music, tickets, and amazing merch. Ever the trendsetters, don't forget to mark your calendars for May 13th, when VEER unleashes their very own vodka. Enjoy it all at veerband.net. I'm bragging about my buddy. Do we have time? Real quick. Last season, Sir Lawrence C. Connolly was on the show talking about a groovy book he was editing for Borderlands Press. And look what I have here. Look at this. It's a collection of Ambrose Bierce stories, autographed by Sir Lawrence from Borderlands Press. I have a shit ton of Borderlands Press books down in the library, and now I get to add this one from their little books collection. This is perfect. This is perfect. Like when I go to meetings, I just take it with me, and when I get bored, I just start reading the book. I saw Malfi reading one during the interview. So hats off to you, Sir Lawrence, and Tom Monteleone. As always, I kiss the ring for making such beautiful books. You can find the highest quality collector's editions at borderlandspress.com. And make sure to ask Tom Monteleone to help perfect your author pose.
Like a clock on a wall said ding ding dong, it's time to check the monkey clock. You know, the batteries in the monkey clock died long ago, so when I look up and I see that the time is 10 after 12, that is the correct time. Because one does not argue with monkey clock.
Roinks and hugs for our special superstar guest, Ron Malfi, waking up at noon, 3 hours earlier than usual, just for the fans. 14 cups of coffee, and we only chatted for an hour. Color me impressed. You just keep cranking out those bestsellers, my friend. I am geeked about the new masterpiece you got coming out, and so excited that I get to party with VEER in May. Two shows. For exact dates and ticket prices, yeah, contact the drummer. We didn't get to cover which conventions Malfi will be at this summer, but if he's anywhere near you, you gotta go. Not just because he loves you guys and he never hesitates to sign a book, but he is the ultimate fun party dude. I mean, he if you're lucky, maybe, just maybe, he'll sing the Dolphins Cry at your karaoke night. Memory Reboot. He might have sang Smash Mouth. High fives and disco hip bumps to the Magic Farmers Incorporated. Goat Boy. Ivan November / Malone. President James K. Polk. McCoy. And to rebellious tank nuns everywhere. All right, there's so much I could cover here, all about the next show. Funky Werepig Classics every Friday night on the TMV Cafe Radio, or the big surprise, the brand new Funky Werepig Fun Books. The first one drops this spring.
The perfect bathroom companion.
I could mention all of those things, but we here are still celebrating our New Year's, and I got some business to take care of. So let me find the man god who never stops till he gets enough. There he is. He's clicked on. Our own musical director, JJ Glamour. JJ, one hell of a first show back to kick off the spring season, huh? Oh yeah. So let's put the needle to the record. Let's throw those pants in the air like we just don't care. And if you would, good sir, play us out. Oh, and make it something funky.
I know it's not right to launch a cat from a catapult, but I can't help it. I would laugh